Let's practice one of the most difficult types of linear equations to solve, equations that have fractions. So in number 4, we'll be solving the equation x plus 5 all over 4 equals 2x minus the quantity 1 plus 7x all over 4 plus 3 halves. And the first thing we would love to do is to get rid of those fractions. And since we have an equal sign, and we can balance our equation doing the same thing to the right side and to the left side, we can clear our fractions. So in order to do that, the first thing we need to do is find the least common denominator, or the LCD. The LCD is, the least common denominator is the smallest number that all of our existing denominators divide into evenly. In the case of 4 and technically 1 and 4 and 2, our least common denominator is the number 4. So each one of our denominators goes into 4. And here's what we're going to do with that. We're going to multiply that 4, or in this case 4 over 1 if you have a fraction, to each term that we have. So multiply both sides of our equations by our least common denominator. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is we want to clear those fractions, so we're going to reduce. It's really important to help yourself by reducing first before you do any kind of distributing of any kind. So in our first fraction, we have 4 over 1 and x plus 5 over 4, so those 4's are going to cancel. In the 4 equals 2x part, nothing cancels there, so we're going to leave that. That's going to become 8x. In the third fraction, 4 over 1 times 1 plus 7x over 4, the 4's again cancel, which is awesome. And the last fraction, 3 over 2 times 4 over 1, will reduce, the 4 and the 2 reduce to a 2 over 1. Okay, so let's write what we have. First fraction, the 4's all canceled, so we just have x plus 5. And equals. Second fraction, 4 times 2x is 8x. Minus, okay, the third term, the 4's canceled. We're left with 1 plus 7x, but a really important thing to note here, this subtraction sign that existed before the fraction applies to the entire fraction, meaning the 1 plus 7x should all be subtracted. So I don't forget to do that. I'm going to put parentheses around the 1 plus 7x so I don't forget to distribute my negative sign. Okay, and then finally, let's see, 3 over 1 and 2 over 1, when we multiply them together, we get 6. So plus 6. Cool. Now that we've reduced, now we're going to distribute as we need to and solve. Okay, so let's see, x plus 5, there's nothing to distribute there, equals 8x. Now, the negative 1 will get distributed through our 1 plus 7x, making that negative 1 minus 7x, and then plus 6. All right, okay, now let's combine our like terms. So x plus 5 on the left-hand side, the left-hand side stays. 8x minus 7x is 1x. And negative 1 plus 6 is 5. Ooh, weird. X plus 5 equals x plus 5? Okay, well, I'm going to continue solving it. I know that's very strange equation we have here. I'm going to continue solving it by getting all the x's on one side. So I'm going to take the x on the right hand side and move it to the left by subtracting both sides from x from both sides. And what that gives me, x minus x is 0, 5. equals 5. If you had done it a different way, you might have ended up with 0 equals 0. But what's important is the x's all canceled away completely. That never happens. All of our x's went away. We don't have x equals 5, but we don't have x's at all. So in that case, when the x's cancel away completely, you want to ask yourself, is this statement that you have here true or false? And 5 certainly equals 5. This is always true, no matter what x is. So our answer is x can be any real number at all. Or you might see it written all real numbers, which is an R with an extra line through it. Okay, so the main idea is you want to take your least common denominator, multiply that least common denominator to the numerators, so multiply it to every numerator, reduce your fractions, distribute if you need to, and then solve. Hope this helps.